I'd like to invite to the stage our first finalist, Rachel Braccini. Rachel is a sophomore public policy major who worked closely with her pitch mentor, Susan Yolen, William Smith alumni, who is the Vice President of Public Affairs and Communications at Planned Parenthood of Southern New England. Won't you please welcome Rachel, the creator of the I'm Outstanding campaign.
60 professors, 110 students, nearly all of campus safety, Hobart's Division I lacrosse team, and 230 photos later, the I'm Outstanding campaign has helped brighten this campus poster by poster. The I'm Outstanding campaign started with an idea with 3 people sitting around a table. Today, the campaign's impact at HWS is undeniable. The I'm Outstanding campaign is a visual movement to highlight allied, out, and supportive members of the LGBT community. The mission of I'm Outstanding is to increase awareness, inclusiveness, and acceptance for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people as well as their allies. It started here at HWS as a simple poster campaign. It shows parents, current students, and prospective students that there is an LGBT community on this campus and that that community has support. The power of the campaign comes from using recognizable community members on posters and distributing them throughout campus. Whether you are out and proud, not shy to be bi, terrifically trans, love someone who is gay, support the LGBT community, or are a proud ally, there is no question that the visual aspect of the campaign is compelling. I'm Outstanding is unique because it connects allies and supporters with LGBT people. It erases the sense of us and them and creates a community that we can all feel comfortable in. I'll be honest with you. When I pitched my idea for I'm Outstanding to my fellow Pride Alliance board members, we thought that it wouldn't amount to much. I knocked on our communications office door and asked if they would help with a photo shoot. We expected that we might get 20 people. Imagine our surprise when 4 photo shoots later, we had over 200 people eager to get their picture taken and participate in this campaign. The enthusiasm increased when I'm Outstanding began to incorporate social media. Once we posted the photos from the campaign online, I began hearing from people in Italy and Australia. Organizations, high schools, colleges, and individuals from Arizona, Rhode Island, North Carolina, and Maryland reached out with interest about how they could bring I'm Outstanding to their area. More importantly, we started to track the dialogue that the campaign was inspiring. Individuals wanted their stories heard. I'm Outstanding means more than just posters and can be a catalyst for social change. The LGBT movement started on June 27, 1969 with the Stonewall riots and has focused on many issues in the last 44 years. The LGBT community is no stranger to activism, and my work would not be possible without the decades of passionate activists before me. However, LGBT issues continue to be a civil rights issue of my generation, and this campaign centers on relevance. With the guidance from my pitch mentor, Susan Yolen, I am now poised to take the campaign to more college campuses. Union College, Hamilton College, Babson College, the University of Rhode Island, Syracuse University, and Northeastern University have expressed interest in I'm Outstanding. Over the next few months, I will develop this poster campaign into a meaningful educational program that stimulates compelling conversations with the goal of shifting intolerance towards understanding and, more importantly, acceptance. I'm Outstanding is collaborating with researchers and educators to create a curriculum and training kit. In our work, we have realized that having discussions with young people about identity is critical. As you'll see on page 3 of the handout you have, once a school signs on with I'm Outstanding, it will be supported with a pre-poster discussion guide, which will prepare campaign participants for the impact that I'm Outstanding can have on an individual as well as a community, and that will focus on important dialogue that deepens understanding around difference, phobia, and why intolerance persists. How-to instructions with the steps to implement an I'm Outstanding campaign, the 6 signature foam core signs, and a post-poster forum guide, because after the posters are distributed, it will be as important to have a follow-up session where participants can process, discuss, and reflect on the impact. It will also serve as a call to action. We want to compel participants towards further advocacy and activism. I will be working with campus representatives, largely using existing Pride organizations, to establish the I'm Outstanding campaign across college campuses. My goal is to have established 5 outstanding campuses by the beginning of the 2013-2014 academic year. As I'm Outstanding continues to spread its message, I will work to take what was a small HWS initiative into a sustainable organization. As a national nonprofit organization, I'm Outstanding will house both the visual awareness campaign as well as the educational component. It will be an organization centered on providing a service to young people by partnering with like-minded organizations to further education and research, and eventually donating back to the LGBT community. I understand that this is a few years away, but this is where I know my team and I can take I'm Outstanding. With this $10,000 grant, I will develop an interactive website, build pre- and post-training curriculum, continue outreach to other campuses, and file important nonprofit and trademarking paperwork. In order to keep I'm Outstanding affordable for all college campuses, I must keep my costs low. I am estimating each campus would need $300 to bring I'm Outstanding to its community. Certainly, this would assist my costs, but in order to gain real growth, I need support. I'll be a junior next year, and part of my learning will be balance. But what I have learned over the past 3 months will allow me to do this work, which honors my mom, the reason I am proud to hold the I Love Someone Who Is Gay sign. The impact and success I'm Outstanding has enjoyed is about more than the number of participants. It's about the people, the lives behind the signs on those posters. I would like to share with you an email I received last semester from a first-year William Smith student who comes from a conservative family. Dear Rachel, when I came to campus in the fall of 2012, I kept my sexual identity hidden for the first few months until I started seeing the I'm Outstanding posters around campus. Seeing my peers, professors, and members of my community express their support for the LGBT community on my college's campus made me realize that I am not alone. And there are people that support my sexual identity and want me to feel safe and happy as a student of Hobart and William Smith colleges. I was so happy and excited about this campaign because I felt like it was the perfect opportunity for me to come out on this campus. It took me quite a while to gain the courage and confidence to get my picture taken with the I'm Out and Proud sign, but once I did, I felt amazing. I was so proud of myself for overcoming my fears and expressing a part of my identity that is so important to me. This campaign gave me the confidence to do one of the most challenging things an LGBT person has to do, which was to go home and come out to my family and friends. Rachel Braccini, your I'm Outstanding campaign changed my life. Thank you.
All right. Rachel, it sounds like a great idea, and it sounds like you've had a lot of success here. Talk to me about whether or not this is a nonprofit organization or this is a campus student group instead, And a lot of that probably has to do with your financial sustainability ideas, okay?
Right. As a visual campaign, the idea is compelling. But what I realize is that the campaign can be so much more. It can be an organization that centers on education. And that's one of the main reasons I wanted to implement this training around the campaign. You know, give people the dialogue that they need to have appropriate conversations around LGBT issues. And then part of the reason that I wanted to become a nonprofit organization was to donate back to the LGBT community. Recently, over in the fall when Hurricane Sandy, I suppose that's when it was, attacked New York City, the Ali Forney Center was destroyed. And that is the only place that LGBT homeless youth in New York feel safe. And that's 40% of homeless youth identify as LGBT. So, you know, to me that was a really alarming message. I feel very safe at Hobart and William Smith colleges. I have a support system as an ally in the Pride Alliance, but these are people that have nowhere else to go. So as a nonprofit, certainly there would be that visual aspect, but the education, the donating back, the building merchandise would all be part of that.
I thought your presentation was amazing.
Thank you.
You were very articulate, and I congratulate you on that. Is this something that you see pursuing as a career going forward?
Certainly. I am about to declare myself as a sociology major, and I think social systems are fascinating. But another thing that I need to recognize is that I am not identifying myself as LGBT. And there is an entire history associated with this movement. So currently I'm in 2 LGBT studies courses to really ground myself in the work that I'm about to be doing. This is something that I'm absolutely passionate about, and it's something that I could see myself following for the next 20 to 30 years.
It was outstanding. Are you considering partners?
I have considered partners. The Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network I have a contact with, and we've discussed how GLSEN might partner with the I'm Outstanding campaign, but I really do see this growing as its own sustainable nonprofit organization.
There don't seem to be a lot of barriers to entry in this business. It seems to be posters and reaching out. And my question is, how does this differ from local clubs at colleges that you hear about every day? And the second part of the question is, when you enter a college community with your posters, et cetera, how do you deal with the dilution of, if there are local clubs that already exist?
The thing that's different about the campaign is that I connect with those clubs. It is not a club in and of itself, but it's an outlet for Pride organizations. For example, the No Hate campaign we've had on our campus before, but to me, that's almost negative. You know, you're putting duct tape over your mouth, you're saying no hate, and then once Proposition 8 is, you know, declared unconstitutional, now what do we do? This is positive. This is something that Pride organizations can hold on to and say, look what we brought to our campus, look what we did here to make all of us feel safe. And do you mind repeating the second part of your question?
Sure. Just how do you deal with the dilution if you're going to college campuses that already have local clubs and local support groups? How do you become more significant? How do you become in the forefront of the goal of your business?
Okay. Well, to answer your question, resource centers, Pride organizations can use this as a tool to engender social change on their campus further. It certainly adds value to those types of organizations that already exist. And it also creates teachable moments. You know, in my experience, there's always more to learn. And especially with LGBT issues, there's a glossary of terms that grows every day. You know, intersex, what does that mean? Does everyone know what that means? What is gender expression versus gender identity? And so this would be a resource for these schools to say, okay, I know because I'm in the Pride organization what these terms mean, but let me have a forum for my entire campus so that we all understand and then learn to accept the differences between the LGBT community.
So I sat with you at dinner tonight, and I know how nervous you were, and you didn't come across at all nervous, so congratulations, even though you didn't even eat your salary. So I don't know whether you've eaten anything today, for that matter. Just because you're not-for-profit doesn't mean you've got to generate revenue. It just means on the U.S. tax code you don't pay taxes. How are you going to generate the revenue in the long term to sustain this? I mean, this is you say it's going to be $300 per campus. I don't think that's really right, but that's not here and there. But how are you going to be able to sustain this for 20 years?
One of the plans that I have. Of course, my target audience right now for the next 6 months is college campuses, but I've also thought about entering high schools. There is definitely a need for this type of education in high schools, and then also with merchandise. I can imagine 500 people at the Pride event in New York City coming up this summer wearing I'm Out and Proud shirts, or I'm not shy to be bi, because I'm outstanding. And selling those t-shirts, selling stickers, selling the training kits, as well as donations. If you're a nonprofit organization, you can really rely and hope that people will donate to your continued success.
What I was going to add to that is I think to really get funding is I think you'd really need to get corporate sponsorship to really bring in greater capital to fund this, to continue it.
Of course, I have connections with Collage, the Children of Lesbian and Gays everywhere, the Family Equality Council, which is currently based in Boston, Glisten, a contact in New York City. I've got connections. I've been in conversation with these people, and it would either be a partnership or a sponsorship. And I said I want to get through the pitch first to know if I can do it on my own. We'll make an organization. If not, I would be open to partnering.
Great, thank you.